What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Patt with Lambo's World of Sports. We are on our next installment of the recruiting trail videos. Before we get started, I'm going to say it like we do before every video: like, comment, subscribe. And then also, if you want some cool Totem Pole merch, hit the shop. We got t-shirts, we got hats, and we got hoodies. Let's get into it. We have the 7th ranked Oklahoma recruiting class today. They have 25 commits, 2 5-stars, 13 4-stars, and 7 3-stars. I'm going to start with getting into their top 5 commits based on the 2, 4, 7 scores that are given to each one. Starting with a 5-star D lineman, David Stone. 6'4", 275 from IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. He's the 17th ranked player nationally, the 5th ranked D lineman, and the 4th ranked player in the state of Florida. Next up, 5-star running back, 2-sport athlete, Taylor Tatum. 5'10 and a half, 205 from Longview High School in Longview, Texas. 33rd ranked player nationally, the 1st ranked running back, and the 9th ranked player in Texas. And as you can see from his commitment post, he's also going to be playing baseball for OU. Next up is a 4-star wide receiver that goes by the name of Zion Kearney, 6'2", 210 from Hightower High School in Missouri City, Texas. He's the 102nd player ranked nationally, 20th ranked wide receiver, and the 19th best player from the state of Texas. Next up on the list is a 4-star D lineman in Nigel Smith II. He's 6'5", 260 from Melissa High School in Melissa, Texas. 138th ranked player nationally, 23rd D lineman, and the 23rd ranked player from Texas. And then rounding out their top 5 is a 4-star tight end, Devon, however you say it, Mitchell. 6'4", 245. Big boy. From Los Alamitos High School in Los Alamitos, California. 155th ranked player nationally, the 11th ranked tight end, and the 14th ranked player in the state of California. Oklahoma isn't super deep as a state when it comes to recruiting talent. You got maybe 1 5-star in there a year, and then handful of 4-stars, and then the rest are 3. There's plenty of states like that. Virginia is like that. So I'm very familiar with it. But Oklahoma is kind of fortunate to be where they are, having the footprint that they do. Texas as a bordering state is huge. And then they've also made reaches out to California, which is pretty cool as well. Obviously, though, like they can't be stressing really hitting Oklahoma hard if you can add top 10 guys from Florida and Texas like they have. So normally in these videos, I like to stress the importance of, hitting your footprint, making sure you recruit well from within your own state. But in their case, with Oklahoma not being super deep, it's obviously more important to go after a top 10 guy from Florida or Texas rather than grabbing like a low 4-star from your home state of Oklahoma. Like I said, pretty fortunate that recruiting wise that Texas is next door. But I am going to emphasize a couple guys that they've gotten from Oklahoma just because, I like to emphasize the home state boys that they've got. Right here is a 4-star edge rusher in Danny Okoye. He is 6'4", 240. He's homeschooled from Tulsa, Oklahoma. 137th ranked player nationally, the 27th ranked edge, and the 3rd ranked player in the state of Oklahoma. This is a guy that they beat out Dion in Colorado for. He took a couple visits to Colorado. He was offered almost as soon as Dion got the job. So definitely, a D lineman that Dion could use over in Colorado right now. But also, if he's grabbing the attention to get recruited that hard by Dion, I would definitely take him on my team for sure. So great pickup for Oklahoma here. Next up is a 3-star running back in Xavier Robinson. He's 6'2", 220 from Carl Albert High School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Dropping a little bit in the rankings here, 664th ranked player nationally, the 44th ranked running back, and the 7th ranked player in Oklahoma. And then, obviously, Dylan Gabriel is going to be gone after this year. And they have a 3-star athlete here who plays on both sides of the ball, but is a phenomenal quarterback just from looking at stats. So that's very surface level, I know, but just based on what he's done as a junior, not even what he's done this year, he looks to be pretty damn good. 908th nationally, 35th ranked athlete, and the 5th player in Oklahoma. But these were his stats as a starter as a junior last year. Threw the ball at 63% for 2,800 yards, 28 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And then on the other side, not on the other side, the duality of his game as a quarterback comes with this 970 rushing yards on 8.29 yards per carry and 17 touchdowns being added as well. He led his team to a 3A state championship last year. Also, same school year, won the Oklahoma 3A 100-meter state championship. So the dude's got burners. With the depth that they do have at quarterback at Oklahoma, he might not ever get a snap at quarterback. You could see him moving to another position like running back, maybe wide receiver. We'll see. 5'11", 200 seems like a pretty damn good running back build to me, especially with his speed and what he's shown in high school so far. And then, just looking at their depth chart, what they're replacing well, what they're not replacing well. They only have one senior in the wide receiver room in general on this depth chart. And so with that is plenty of youth in the room. They're still bringing in 6 wide receivers. 4 of them are 4-star guys, pretty highly rated. The O-line is starting 3 seniors, but positive behind them is a bunch of guys that aren't leaving in the next 2 years. They've got underclassmen behind them. And they're also bringing in 4 O-linemen. They've got 1 4-star interior O-lineman, 1 3-star interior O-lineman, and then 2 3-star tackles. Obviously, a school like Oklahoma, what they're trying to be, the 3 stars aren't their goals, but it's good to have the depth to build on in recruiting classes of the future. Who knows what these guys could turn out to be? There's plenty of NFL players that were like 1-star players out of high school that just exploded onto the scene. So the stars don't mean everything, but just from a straight recruiting perspective for Oklahoma, they're going to need to beef up the O-line a little bit. But like I said, they do have youth. The tight end room is set up pretty funny. The starter is a senior, 2nd string junior, 3rd string sophomore, 4th string is a freshman. And that's the order of it. They're bringing in a highly touted tight end. And I'm assuming that's going to keep that same line going. The senior will leave, the junior will go to the 1 spot, and then so forth. So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting note, but no immediate needs at tight end from what I can tell. Like I mentioned already, Dylan Gabriel is a senior, but they do have 2 guys behind him, including a 5-star from last year's class in Jackson Arnold. 95% he will be the starter next year. But at the 3rd string right now, they have one of the best names in college football in General Booty as their 3rd string QB. He'll move up to 2nd string next year, obviously. But I don't know if Booty's going to be competing for that starting job against Jackson Arnold. He was very highly touted in last year's class. And then this year, they're bringing in, like I mentioned, the one QB, Andy Bass. They're bringing in 2 other 3-star quarterbacks as well. I don't know how that works out with, potential who's getting redshirted, who's going to be the 3rd guy active. And then there's also part of the reason I said that Bass might be moved to a running back or wide receiver spot is because they have obviously an emphasis on trying to get some depth at the QB spot, bringing in 3 QBs in this class alone, and all of them being 3 stars. You wouldn't be too upset with switching the position of 1 or 2. Most likely 1, and it would most likely be the most athletic out of the group, which was Bass, obviously with his state championship in the 100-meter, and then what he can do on the ground as a rusher. And then lastly, on the defensive side of the ball, the D-line is the only group that is old on this defense. There's seniors everywhere when it comes to the D-line depth chart, and they're bringing in 5 guys on the D-line to help replace that. Excuse me. 5 D linemen. One of them is a 5-star. They've got 2 4-star D linemen and then 2 4-star edge rushers as well. So where they are losing guys, they're replacing well, and pretty much it seems like they have depth almost everywhere else, and they're doing nothing but bolstering up the depth chart at those positions. That's all I've got for you today for the Oklahoma recruiting trail. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Sideline Sports Network. And you can tune in every single Wednesday. We will have new schools that we're getting into when it comes to recruiting. This is the 3rd or 4th week that we've done this, and it's doing pretty well. So thank you guys for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you like something, if you didn't like something, let us know, and we will bring the best show to you possible. Thank you very much. Once again, have a good night. I'll be back on in about 5-10 minutes, and I'll get into Lambo and I's weekly top 5 NFL rankings. Thank you very much. Have a good night.